What up, though? And welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Lions Nation Unite. Happy Black History Month, people, from us right here, Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Now, keeping with the spirit of my man, Jim Bordeaux, he was an advocate for diversity in this genre. He was always gave us opportunities for minorities. That's why we're here on this show, because of his diversity. He was an ally for the diversity, and he always looked at the person and not the color. So, Jim Bordeaux, we're going to keep your thing going, my man, right here in Detroit Lions of the Proud. And we will have a special Black History Month moment at the end of the show. So, we're going to profile some Detroit Lions legends in Black History Month. We got to do that. Before we get into all this content, because, we got to look at the Senior Bowl, the staff, the prospects, play hell yeah or hell no. But we got to bring in the crew. First up, my man, y'all know who he is. He is the great value Rick Ross. My man, LL Cool Tones. What's up, my dude?
I don't like that one, but what's up, Foundation? And good morning.
And you see, my man, he's at the bottom of the screen. You know who he is. He is the defensive line coach and extraordinaire. And we got a candidate for you today to take a look at. He is the boxing pride of Jackson, Michigan, the freestyle maestro. Who?
Coach Jones. Who's Coach Mike Jones? What's going on, Lion fans?
Let's get this thing started
right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We're going to start this one off with our man, Curt.
All right, now, unless you've been living under a rock, you know the Detroit Lions staff, admin, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and company are down in Mobile, Alabama for the Reese's Senior Bowl. Now, here is some key members of the Detroit Lions staff that have a major role down there. You got my man, Deuce Staley is the head coach down there, because Dan Campbell is in an advisory role, and most of the actual assistants or people who have a head role on the Lions are taking a step back and letting their assistants take a hold down there and be in charge of the young players. So on the defensive side of the ball, you got Aubrey Pleasant as a defensive coordinator, and Ben Johnson's the OC down there. And they are doing their job. Aubrey Pleasant has the defense playing with a whole bunch of aggressive energy. They are really stepping it up, and Ben Johnson got his work cut off for him on the offensive side of the ball, because they have to step it up, because just like Aaron Glenn did in the preseason for the Lions, they had that defense playing with some vigor, and Aubrey Pleasant doing the same thing. Now, Deuce Staley, I'm gonna bring him up a little later. He is playing devil advocate down there. He is creating some matchups, and he's creating something that some guys are going to shine down there. So we may be looking at some players that we may be looking at. I don't know. We might have to take a look at this dude more closely. But we're going to play hell yeah or hell no with some of these draft prospects here in a minute. But what do you guys think about what the Lions are doing as a staff down there?
Oh, well, I like it so far. I think it's dope, like what you just said. I seen the little the little post or whatever saying offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and whatever it is. And when I first saw, I'm like, because I know Aaron Glenn was, interviewing for head coaching jobs and stuff, and I see Aubrey Pleasant, defensive coordinator. I said, wait, it happened? I was confused as hell, but then I looked at the thing and said it had the little Reese's thing at the bottom. I said, okay, we cool. So, but either way, that's dope. I really think that this is a great opportunity for them. It's a great opportunity for the kids to learn from somebody they may end up having to learn from in the league anyway. It's almost like college prep classes in high school. Like you're getting a first-hand look. You're actually getting some college credits as well. Not saying that that's what's going to go for these guys, but similar. And offensively, defensively, I think they'll be able to get a closer look at some of these prospects. Of course, obviously, but with this coaching staff, I really like their chance to get a hands on them, because I got complete faith in them. I think that they can probably mold anybody, into something productive. So being able to see a lot of the prospects up close and personal, and a lot of them, a lot of seniors don't really get drafted as much anymore. So we have almost a little bit of an upper hand with the undrafted free agents and things like that as well.
I think it's a good thing, man. It's a wonderful thing, because we have guys who know how to evaluate talent. And when you have guys that know how to evaluate talent on the forefront and they get in the first-hand look at these guys in action, their intangibles, seeing what they can do, how they can help the Lions defense out, because we all know that's what they're really doing. You know, you get the first hand, you get a leg up on it, and I'm just glad that we got the proper people in position to evaluate the talent and to give their input back to Brad Holmes, who I know is going to be there, but he might not be there like the whole time, you know. So I'm just glad, man, that we're in that position, and I think we're going to do something with it.
Right. Now, the Senior Bowl is going to be on Saturday. You have a couple of those games happening throughout the week. I think there is one tomorrow. You got East-West Shrine game. You got the NFL Players Association Bowl. And then you have the Reese's Senior Bowl, which is really became that marquee event as far as the marketing and what Reese's has put into it, and executive director Jim Nagy doing this thing down there. Now let's look talking about those talent and evaluating some of these guys. Let's look at some of the prospects. Now, Tim Tuniman over there at DetroitLions.com, he posted an article about 10 prospects to look at the Senior Bowl. Now, we're not going to look at all 10 of those guys because we ain't got that type of time. But we're going to take a look at 5 of these guys, and we're going to play our favorite game a little bit later in the show. First up, we got QUAY Walker, linebacker out of University of Georgia. Dude is 6'4", 240 pounds, plays linebacker. Season stats, he had 65 total tackles, 37 solo. He had no forced fumbles, but he had a 1.5 sacks and 3 passes defended. Now, we got David Lloyd. Now, this guy is probably the top interior linebacker in the draft. He's out of Utah, 6'3", 232 pounds, 111 tackles, 66 solos, 2 forced fumbles. Dude had 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 of them back for pick sixes, and 6 pass breakups. Now, this guy is supposed to be the first interior linebacker drafted. His NFL comp is Devin White. Whew, that's some pretty big shoes right there. You talk about this guy. Next up, we got Jermaine Johnson II. He is a edge rusher out of Florida State. Now, listen to me. Remember I said that I don't know if the Lions are going to go edge on that first pick, but if they don't and can get a guy later on in the draft, this is a guy you can look at. 6'5", 260 pounds out of Florida State, 70 tackles, 33 solo, 2 forced fumbles, had 11.5 sacks, had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and had 2 pass breakups on that defensive line down there at Florida State. Next up, we have JAHAN Doxson, wide receiver, Penn State, 5'11", not that big, but 184 pounds, and dude can fly. He's projected to run that one of those 4.3 40 guys. He had 91 receptions on the year last year, 1,182 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Now, here is the prospect that a lot of us Lions fans, or at least on this show, we're like, I don't know about this guy, but he has been projected to be drafted by the Lions and was spotted wearing a Lions cap down there in Mobile. It is Malik Watson, the quarterback out of Liberty University. 6'1", 215 pounds. He had 270 completions for out of 339 attempts for 2,857 yards and 27 touchdowns with 12 interceptions. He had rushing 197 attempts for 878 yards and 13 touchdowns. So for the season, the dude had 40 scores on the season down there in his senior year at Liberty University. Like I said, there's a picture floating around the internet with him sporting a doggone Detroit Lions cap on the campus. He's in his, I guess, the Senior Bowl garb, his, gear down there, but he had that Detroit Lions cap on him. I'm like, I don't know about that one, player, but I digress. But all right, so that's what our Senior Bowl report is for right now. And we're going to get into a little bit something that with the Jermaine Johnson II. Now, there's a video on Twitter. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I retweeted it and I quoted it. There was a matchup where Deuce Staley doing his thing, playing devil advocate. He put the best offensive lineman out there which was out of Kentucky. The guy's name is Darian Kennard, and he put him up against Jermaine Johnson in the one-on-ones at the end of the practice. Jermaine Johnson trucked him like he was standing still. I mean, this dude, Jermaine Johnson, I'm telling you, if they don't go with Thibodeau or they don't go with Hutchinson, this is a guy who they can get at the end of the first round, beginning of the second round, and he has comparable skills. Same with David Ajabo, where these guys have the comparable skills where if you don't want that big name and flash, but you want the skill set that is similar, you can get these guys a lot later in the draft, second round, maybe even, you know, end of the first round, beginning of the second round. So, you know, we got, because we're going to be picking probably 32nd and 34. So, you know, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. If you like the video, hit the like button, share the video, comment on the video. You know, we're on that march to 4,000. And, you know, we need you right here in Detroit Lions on the Prowl. So go ahead and be a part of Prowl Nation. The family discussion topic for today. Of those five prospects I just profiled, is there one that we should draft? If so, which one? So let us know in the comments down below. What do we do with those comments, my man LL?
From each show, we pick 6 comments and reread them on the next show. So go ahead and leave those comments and see what we talk about on the next.
All right, so now we look at those prospects. We talked about the Senior Bowl, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be Saturday afternoon, so go ahead and check your local listings. I think it's going to be on NFL Network. So go over there and check that thing out. You know, go see our dudes do their thing on those sidelines. You know, we got Aubrey Pleasant, the Flintstones. You know, I'll be tuning in to see my homie do his thing anyway. But let's play our favorite game of the show, baby. It's hell yeah or hell nah with these prospects. So first up, we got QUAY Walker, linebacker out of Georgia. Now he's the counterpart of the other, you know, big name talent. He's not as, you know, known in the linebacker community right now, but he has comparables. QUAY Walker, my man LL, what you think about QUAY Walker? Do you think we should kick the tires and look at maybe picking this guy up? Hell yeah or hell nah?
For the sake of the show and the sake of the other prospects, I'm gonna say hell no. I do like QUAY Walker though. He's a big athletic linebacker, and he plays his role. The Kobe, I think it's Kobe Dean, if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
He was like the what they call like the nail linebacker, whatever. You know, he was the attacker linebacker. He was basically the linebacker that backed up the line. So he played his role very well. So I do like QUAY Walker, but just like I said, for sake of the show and sake of the prospects, hell no.
All right, what you got, Coach Mike? QUAY Walker, hell yeah or hell no?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
And I think we missed out on the athletic linebacker last year, Micah Parsons. Not that I wanted to draft him because I'm happy with Penei Sewell, but we just missed out, and we quick to write off athletes at linebacker because, you know, Jared Davis. So we yeah, hell yeah.
All right, QUAY Walker, I'm kind of mixed on this one. If we could get him later on in the draft, I wouldn't have him as a, you know, as a mid-round guy, mid to late round guy. I would say hell yeah. Guys, athletic build, can run side of the sideline. I like him with Derek Barnes, so I'm gonna say hell yeah. All right, next up, we're gonna go with the other linebacker in this draft, Devin Lloyd. Now, I don't know if he's gonna be there because this dude is an absolute stud. Devin Lloyd out of Utah. Coach Mike, what you got? Do we pick him up if we can?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Get it out. That man's a hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to be consistent. What do you think, LL?
Hell yeah. And yeah, just short and sweet. Hell yeah. And that's why, well, I won't be short and sweet. That's why I didn't say hell yeah to QUAY Walker because of this guy. So hell yeah.
Yeah. Because the Dean's going to be out there as well. So if we can get this guy, oh man, I would love him on our defense. So I want to say hell yeah on Devin Lloyd as well. That guy's an absolute stud out there in the defense. I mean, you really can't to pair him with the linebacker core that we have right now. Somebody's got to go, and if you can get that guy in the fold, man, somebody gonna be saying bye bye to their job real quick. All right, next up, we got Jermaine Johnson II. He's that edge rusher out of Florida State. Man, I'm looking at this guy. I'm liking what I see. He doesn't have the big name because he's a transfer and he played in the ACC, but 11.5 sacks. That's up there as far as you looking at one of the top guys in the nation. He's up there with Hutchinson and Ajabo and the guy out of Alabama. So what do you guys think about Jermaine Johnson II? I'm going to go to D-line first. Coach Mike, what you like about this guy? Would you pick him up if you could? Hell yeah or hell no on Jermaine Johnson II?
Hell yeah, because I think he's going to be there in the second round, maybe even later in the second round. So, yeah, man, hell yeah. We got it, 70 tackles. Come on, man, 11.5 sacks. Got to. 2 passes defended. Oh, yeah. Come on, bro. Come down to the deep.
All right. LL, what you got on this guy? Jermaine Johnson II. Hell yeah or hell no. These guys are excited about this. They just want to say hell yeah. So, Jermaine Johnson II. Hell yeah or hell no?
Hell yeah. Second round pick. I'm liking it. If we don't go edge first round.
Yeah. All right. For me, I'm gonna go hell yeah as well, man. Because I think I want Kyle Hamilton. If I go Kyle Hamilton in that number 2 pick, I'm looking at defense coming down in that that end of the first round, beginning of the second round, we can load up on some defensive weapons and get this thing rolling. So I'm liking that. So Jermaine Johnson II, if we don't go edge on that first pick, I would like him later on in the first bottom of the first round, beginning of the second round. So, all right, next up, we have now this guy. He may not have a lot of size on him, but I think he will fit well in what we need. And that guy he's a flat out burner. That's Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. Watching this guy through the season, man, this dude can actually just go. And that's something that, we had on the Lions last year with Khalif Raymond, but if we decide to move on from him, I think he's a comparable, definitely replacement for him. So Jahan Dotson, speedster out of Penn State. What you got, LL? Hell yeah or hell no? Nah?
And that's what I thought about, with at least his measurements, 5'11", 184 pounds. He kind of reminded me. And with him being a burner, he kind of reminded me of Khalif Raymond. I'm gonna say hell yeah, because you can't have too much speed. So we can have Khalif Raymond and Jahan Dotson out there.
All right. So, Coach Mike, what you got on Jahan Dotson? Hell yeah or hell no? Nah?
Hell yeah, because Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, they were 2 quick speedsters that ran on slant routes to catching goals, you know what I'm saying? The skinny posts, all that speed, we need that on the field for Jared Goff, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
With Jared Goff.
With Jared Goff. For next year. Because
right,
I would say hell yeah as well. I'm liking the young fella. Watching him this year at Penn State, just in the Michigan game alone, that dude, he causes problems. He gives headaches, and he definitely can stretch the defense. He can catch and run, or he could just take the top off the defense. So this guy I would definitely pick if we could pick him up in this draft. So I'm going to say hell yeah on Jahan Dotson. All right, last up. Y'all know who it is, man. The quarterback out of Liberty University, 40 touchdowns on the season total. All right, I'm going to go to LL first. Malik Willis out of Liberty, the quarterback. Would you draft him in this? Because he's going to be projected to be that late first round pick for us. Hell yeah or hell nah?
Not in the late first round, but I'm gonna say hell maybe, and because I don't know, I don't really know, but I take him over Desmond Ridder.
Okay.
Oh hell no!
Also, Coach Mike, hell yeah.
He capping. He capping.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm
capping.
What you got on Malik Willis? Would you pick him up in this draft? Hell yeah or hell no?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with LL. Hell maybe. Okay. It just depends on where he's selected. He has to be a late second to third round pick. He has to be like a pick we traded back into the second round for at the end of the second round. to get him, I do that, or I take him at the second pick of the third round. I'm not taking him 32 or 31 like Daniel Jeremiah said. He need to be smacked, homeboy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hell no as well. Myself, I just don't think that this draft has that quarterback of the future for us in Detroit. I just don't see it. But I think that the next year's draft will be the one we can draft a good replacement for Jared Goff. JG will be here another year and he'll be gone.
JG, my God.
All right, so that's hell yeah or hell no for these definitely draft prospects. Looking at those guys, so like I said before, we drop them out in the comments. What do you think? So let us know if hell yeah or hell no, or which one you would pick up. You know how we do it. 6 of them from each show. 6 of the comments go into the next show, and we have an opportunity to read and share what your thoughts is. Because we're all family right here with Detroit Lions on the Prowl. We do Prowl Nation. We are your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And to check out more of us, go over to Lions Nation Unite and hang out with us over there on that app. I just posted a picture over there of the actual case I got for the Lions mini helmet I got from my man Herman Moore. Man, that is one of my most prized possessions. I really appreciate that. Herman Moore, those guys keep it 100 over there on Lions Nation Unite. So go over there and check the app out. You guys, all your content creators over there for the Detroit Lions. Your favorite ones are over there hanging out. So go check it out over there on the app. You can get it in your Google, Apple, or Android app stores. And if you want to check us more, go over to your favorite social media sites. You can check us out. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all them things. We right there hanging out. You get some behind the scenes stuff right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Now it is time for us to do my favorite segment of the show. We go zip our lip and see what you had to say about the last show. It's time for the comment cards, baby. Now, my man, the Odyssey, formerly known as PC Payload, said at this point, just root for Stafford to win. We're splitting hairs here at the 31st or 32nd pick anyway. Let the man get his ring. He literally broke his back for us. I think he deserves it. That's true. He did play with a broke back.
Good point.
Wow.
Good point. Thanks for that, PC Payload, or artist formerly known as PC Payload. Mike and Chris G says, I'm happy for Matthew, but I'm so sick of the national media calling Detroit, city included, as a pariah, dump, etc. If Ernie Accorsi hadn't screwed us by only interviewing 2 candidates for the GM job, giving us Bob Quinn instead of doing a real search. No Quinn, no Fatty Patty. Those 2 set this franchise back worse than Millen did because it only took 2.5 years. And honestly, that's the thing that I think is being missed with all of the Stafford talk and everything else of what happened between Caldwell and wherever the hell we at now.
Yep.
That little dark period is what set us back to where we are now.
I'll definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Jeffrey Inglesby says, if Aaron Glenn stays in Detroit when we start winning, doesn't that make his value go up? Please stay in Detroit. And yes, it does. It does. It does. We don't know, if that New Orleans, is where it's gonna go, but it definitely does. Man.
Yeah. And with the news that came out yesterday with the current lawsuit filed by Brian Flores, there may be some pressure for the Saints too. Now, I'm not saying that they will, but there may be some pressure on those Saints to hire him just because of the fact that what's going on in the media right now, or what's going on in the league right now with the with the hire. If you look at you have really one black head coach in the league right now, and then another minority coaches out of a league that is predominantly made up of minorities. So we'll see. All right, Michael Lewis says, I am so selfish. Hey, I don't agree with you on that. I really want him to stay and finish what he started building. He's talking about Aaron Glenn. I cry if he leaves, but I wish him the very best at whatever he chooses. We're talking about Aaron Glenn. Yes, I agree with that. I want him to stay. I'm selfish as well because I think that he is going to build something great in Detroit. If you look at what he did just this season with really a makeshift defense and personnel, he's going to be a really good coach in the league.
Right. King SJ says, as a Lions fan, it is bittersweet to have Stafford go to the Super Bowl in his first season after being traded out of Detroit. Having said that, I'm happy for him and rooting for him to win. I just hope we can get our shot at the Super Bowl with Sheila Ford, Holmes, and MCDC running the show. Exactly,
Yeah.
King SJ. Couldn't have said it better
Talica.
myself.
John Robinson says the coach the Hammer Jones. Okay. See anything? That was actually my nickname. In boxing was the Hammer.
So somebody know who you is.
Yeah, they know. They didn't see me do it. They know. The coach the Hammer Jones see anything, and Will Harris give me any hope after he played some corner some last year. And yeah, actually, what that was so Curt. You know, that surprised the hell out of you too. Like you was like, wait a minute, hold on. So this fool can't cover as a safety, but he's halfway decent as a nickel corner. I don't listen. After that happened, I admit I don't know what the hell is going on with the defense now. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. That shocked me, man. It shocked me just as much as Curt.
Yeah, definitely. All right, those are the comment cards for today, man. What you got, LL?
Well, thank you guys for leaving those comments. Of course, throughout the show, every show, leave us comments. We'll pick 6 of them to go on to the next one. But transitioning from the comment cards, we're going over to everybody's favorite segment of the show, and that is the dessert with your man Curt.
All right, Dessert with your man Curt is brought to you by Delightful Bites, custom cookies and desserts for any occasion. If you like how they look, you'll love how they taste. Delightful Bites. Get your cookie on. Jonah Jackson, big ups to Jonah Jackson. He is named to the Pro Bowl as an injury replacement for Washington football team's guard Brandon Scherf. So he will be
Washington
playing.
Commanders now.
Yeah. I still think that's a okie doke. Somehow, if you look at those jerseys were trash. I think it's an okie doke on what's going on right now with that team. But if you look at that, anyway, congratulations to Jonah Jackson for making the Pro Bowl, man. He was an alternate, and he got picked up as a replacement. Now it is time for the Black History moment in Detroit Lions history, and we're going to be profiling Dick Night Train Lane. Here's what a fellow Hall of Famer in Detroit said about Dick Night Train Lane. He says, when he hit you, it wasn't like who hit me, you were out. And this is from Leanne Barney. Dick Night Train Lane, Dick Lane, known as Night Train Lane, holds the NFL season record for interceptions with 14. And remarkably, he accomplished that feat back in 1952 when they weren't throwing the ball that well. So when seasons were just 12 games, Lane was also known for his vicious style of tackling, which led to several rule changes. I mean, those clotheslines was vicious. A cornerback originally from Austin, Texas, Lane signed with the Rams after serving 4 years in the Army. A blazing fast runner at 6'1", 194 pounds. You look at that. Look how and he's a prototype of what we have now for corners. Lane was known for for wrapping players around their neck and tackling them to the ground. Known as the Night Train Necktie. That was his name of his tackle. This tackle was subsequently banned. Lane was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1974 was also infamous as a gambler on the field, intercepting 68 passes in his 14-year career. Lane made 4 Pro Bowls playing for the Chicago Cardinals in the 50s and 3 Pro Bowls in the 60s as a Detroit Lion. That is your man. This guy was a vicious player on the field and one of the best players in NFL history. That is your Black History moment right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl as we profile Dick Night Train Lane. All right, fellas. All right, now it is time for us to do what? Take that walk on over to that Wall of Fame, baby. All right, first up on the Wall of Fame, we got Midwest Lion, Detroit Drew of the DSA. We got Jimbo G, and then we have Justin, my favorite, Cerveza 10K. For the silver members, we got Nomus J. What up, Gnome? And then we have Cap Ice Cold, John Martin, Mr. Scotty the Bear, the Frenchman, baguettes, and all that. And then the gold members, we got my man, Mr. Rough and Raw himself, North End Ken. We got Mr. Reliable, Michael Huck, Just in the D, Miles Gibbs, Turner C. Burley, and the Doctor, Dr. Detroit. He is always in. To be a member of the Wall of Fame, click the Join Now button down in the description. Now it is time for final thoughts. My man, LL, you up first, my dude. What you got for today's show?
I got a couple of things. And I start out with a joke. But I think that Anthony Lynn should sue the Lions because he got fired because of Jared Goff. I don't think it was fair. I don't think it was his fault. I still blame Jared Goff for the offensive issues that we had. But on to a more serious note, y'all, I mean, that is a very serious issue, but I don't really understand how y'all are trying to loop the Lions in on this. Even Brian Flores tried to mention the Lions and Jim Caldwell. Understandable, maybe there's some merit there, but you have to separate that regime from this regime. I don't know. I want to say if old man Ford still owned it then, and then, you know, Miss Ford owned it, and now the daughter owns it. So it's been a couple of different ownerships in the last however many years. So you can't loop them in now within. You can't loop in whatever happened with Dan Campbell or whatever happened with Caldwell, because it wasn't the same ownership. It wasn't the same people making the decisions, and it's just a different situation. And last thing, leave Stafford out of this, man. Y'all want to pick on Stafford and pick on Detroit like it was Stafford's fault that we drafted Ebron instead of Aaron Donald and all of those, you know, silly things like that. It was the Lions organization at that time's fault for why Stafford never got to where he needed to go. Stafford had a big part in that too, but the organization never did necessary things. So shut up about Detroit. Go Stafford.
All right, what you got, Mike?
Yeah, I'd just like to, you know, to kind of piggyback off of that Brian Flores thing. You know, maybe as LL said, Brian Flores is kind of including, you know, the Lions and it's a regime change. But I think what Brian Flores is doing is good. In a way that it is helping to start getting people noticed and start to get people, you know, toward that GMs and toward head coaching jobs, because there's no reason in hell why Brian Flores was fired from the coach of Miami Dolphins. Like, we're talking about the Miami Dolphins, who 2-3 years ago was like the worst team in NFL. They were horrible. They were horrible. And he left them on a 7-game winning streak. How do you fire a guy after that? And, you know, it's just him not only being fed up with what happened to him, but it's him being fed up with what he sees going on. And he's like, you know what? Enough is enough. Now, I know, you know, there'll be some people who be like, oh, so now he's going to, just because you're black, you're going to, no, it's not that. It's that he doesn't want us, he doesn't want us dismissed. The Rooney Rule is they kind of capping now on the Rooney Rule. They're like trying to interview, like the first interview is like with a black head coach, knowing he ain't gonna get the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just, so, you know, he just tired of the whole process, and he just wants equality. Because like they said on NFL Network, or was it NFL Live on ESPN, they said, you know, you got 70% NFL is black. Why not have a, you know, black guy leading the Army? And I'm not saying that to try to discredit any white head coaches, any Hispanic head coaches, or any other coach. I'm just saying that, come on, man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. I know it's a touchy subject, but, you know, hey, if it's somebody in the NFL says it and it's being to the forefront now, then hey, we gotta discuss it. So that's my final thoughts for the day, man.
Yeah, definitely. My final thoughts for today's show is I like what I'm seeing from the Senior Bowl down there in Mobile with the Detroit Lions staff. Brad Holmes made a good point. He said they asked him about the Stafford trade, and he said, well, if you look at the teams are in two different phases. You look at where they're in the Super Bowl, we're down here at the Senior Bowl, and he has no regrets about making the Stafford trade. He said that was the best move for both sides. So, you know, we got our assets and, you know, draft capital for Matthew Stafford. He's out there having success in LA, and it is what it is. You know, he's not worried about the backlash of making a Stafford trade or anything like that, or what could have happened, because the Lions were not in a position to be where the Rams are this year. They just weren't in that position with their roster turnover. And if you look at what happened with the last regime between Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, they really just decimated the whole roster. And it's just, you know, you're going to have to rebuild. And but I didn't envy any GM that came into Detroit this year, because it was going to be a massive rebuild no matter who took over that position. And then with the Brian Flores situation, it is Brian Flores, it had to be something for him, because he sacrificed his career. He would never probably coach in the league again, because he sacrificed his career for a cause. And you look at that, and it's not whining, it's the truth. If you look at the league, Like we said, 70% of the league is African American. You don't, and right now you have 1 African American head coach and 6 African American GMs in the league right now. We happen to have 1 in Detroit. Our coaching staff and our administration is very diverse in Detroit. So I like what Sheila Ford Hemp as an owner and the front office is doing with the diversity of the coaching staff and the administration. So shout out to her for doing her thing in Detroit. But it needs to be addressed, and you look at it, it's going to have to start at the leadership level until you get the owners and hold their feet to the fire to do something different. It's going to stay the same because we've been having
more black owners. Yeah,
you look at the Rooney Rule and how long it's been in existence, and I see the same thing that Coach Mike is seeing, where you see teams that are they interview black coaches just to say that they did it to meet the requirement. You know, just to say, okay, we interviewed these guys, so we're not violating the Rooney Rule. So but you never gave this guy a chance in the first place. And you have a guy out in KC who should have been a head coach a long time ago in Eric Bieniemy, this in my opinion. But that I digest. But it is, it's Wednesday. We got the Go Members meeting today. So make sure you check the community tab for the link for the Go Members meeting. It's going to be at 3 p.m. as usual. So come in and hang out with your boys if you are a Go Member meeting. And, you know, the queen of the Prowl will be there as well, Miss Valerie Bordeaux. But it's Wednesday. It's hump day, baby. So we got to get on out of here. So crumbs off your face. Finish your drink and get back to work, baby. And whatever you do in life, you know what you got to do for the crew. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, LL and Coach Mike, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon. We love you, Jim.